Hey everyone, it's me Merlin, your keyboard wizard, here with another episode of 5 interest checks that caught my attention. In this episode, we'll have a key set inspired by a household pet, and a wireless 75% keyboard. Stay tuned till after the break to find out more. GMK Zen Pond was posted in early June and is inspired by the calm and relaxing Zen ponds filled with koi fish. It uses 2 stock GMK colors and 2 custom RAL colors. The key set is one of the largest I've seen, coming in at 6 kits. We've got the Kohaku TKL base, featuring UV printed hiragana sublegends, the Asagi TKL Latin base, the Novelkeys kit, a numpad, space bars, and 40% support. It also features 2 dust mats, Enso and Tencho. At this point, there's not many vendors listed, nor is there a scheduled group by date or pricing. As someone who really loved Mizu, this caught my eye. I'm normally a big Sublegend fan, but for some reason the Kohaku set looked too busy to me. Maybe it's the red, but if I were to buy the set, I'd be buying Asagi. The novelties are also great. I know they're only UV printed, but these are just so beautiful. My favorite is the twin koi fish on the enter key. I normally prefer desk mats without a design in the middle, as the keyboard usually obfuscates that, but in this case, I find the twin koi fish design of the Tencho too busy and much prefer the Enso. If you're looking for a pretty cool blue key set, the MechMerlin verdict is strong consider. This is a GMK set posted in early June and is inspired by the Shiba Inu. It uses 3 custom RAL colors. The key set has 4 kits, a TKL which will be appended with basic 40 support, novelties, numpad, and spacebar. Even though this is a very early IC, we already have quite a few vendors listed. No pricing or expected group by date quite yet. What drew me to the set is the nice shade of yellow they picked here. It's not too vibrant and it's also not too dull. Kinda gives you this very neutral color that seems to work with any color keyboard. If I bought this set, I'd put this on a whiteboard. I do have to say it would look better with text modifiers. These icon modifiers seem to make the key set look very empty. Generally speaking, on key sets that have sublegends, I greatly prefer icons. And on key sets that don't, like this, I prefer text. I'm also a big fan of these novelties. I quite like the enter key here and the dog heads and dog bones. The paws not so much, because I think that's kind of an overdone aesthetic on pretty much every animal themed key set. The MechMerlin verdict is consider. The Iskar is a 65% top mount keyboard from BitMXP of Bitmap Studios, posted in early June. If you're trying to remember where you've heard that name before, Bitmap Studios is also the one behind the Alpine 65. The Iskar features a mirror polished rim, in-switch RGB, multiple sound dampening options, hot swap PCB, 7-degree typing angle, and many more. No vendors or group by date yet, but this is targeted to be a roughly $500 board. In a world full of 65s, it gets harder and harder to stand out. People have added knobs, OLEDs, badges, you name it, but this is one of the few keyboards I've seen that does something with the rim. I think this mirror finish gives it a very unique look. While the board looks amazing, I am curious as to why they are choosing the top mount approach, when gasket is the rage these days. Perhaps they've managed to find a happy medium exceeding the Alpine 65 with the PCB flex cuts. Who knows? I did notice that it seems that this board has their switches positioned in a north-facing orientation to maximize the in-switch RGB. The drawback to this is if you're using cherry profile keycaps, you won't bottom out correctly on row 3. With the popularity of non-cherry profile caps increasing by the month, perhaps this is no longer a deal-breaking option? Maybe. Anyway, the MechMerlin verdict is consider. The Balance is a new Canon Keys board posted in early June. It is an F-Roll-less 1800 with an encoder knob. You're probably looking at this now and wondering, why is it called Balance? That was my question too. There's really nothing symmetrical about this board. The reason why is because of this accent piece on the back. It looks like the board is being balanced on this. Honestly, there are probably better names for this board, but I'll take it. Anyway, this board has a long list of features including an ARM MCU, isolation gasket mount, unified C3 daughter board, 5.5 degree typing angle, and a whole lot more. This board is set to sell for about $465 on Group Buy with at least 500 units. No other vendors listed quite yet, but with those stats, good luck everyone on trying to get this. This board stood out to me simply because of the rarity of the layout. This isn't quite an 1800 and isn't quite a full size. I think the first time I ever saw a layout like this was on the Duck Blackbird. And like the Duck Blackbird, I think it looks stunning. Going off on a tangent here, most of my key sets are full-size kits. But due to me only using up to 75%, a majority of the keys are unused. I'm glad that some key sets are starting to only do TKL base kits, so kudos to them, but a board like this would allow me to finally use those novelties, that numpad even, and others. I don't really use the numpad. In fact, the largest board you'll ever see me using on stream is usually a 75%. But for a board as beautiful as this, I'll consider it. The MechMerlin verdict is strong consider. The EP75 was posted in early May by Elliot23. It is a wireless 75%, which on a quick glance looks very similar to an ID80, but in my opinion, done so much better. This is a top mount board with center mounted USB-C daughter board, brass weight, hot swap and soldered PCBs, both powered by GMK, a new open source keyboard firmware focused on wireless connectivity. With the current prototype, the 120 mAh battery gives about a month of usage, with current aims of increasing this. There's currently no formal group by date, vendor, or pricing listed yet. You guys know me, I absolutely love 75%, especially when it's got this exploded layout. I'm also quite curious about GMK. I honestly haven't had a chance to mess around with it too much, and due to my involvement with GMK, I'm not exactly sure how I can contribute, but that's a story for another time. There are some things that irk me with this board though. First off, it looks too much like an ID80. In fact, when I first saw this pop up, I thought someone had managed to just make a top mount ID80. Most of the design differences are internally and on the bottom of the board. I quite like the weight, but simply putting EP75 on it is kind of boring. I do know that this is a prototype, so I am hoping that the final product will have something fancier. If you're looking for a custom wireless 75% keyboard with an exploded layout, this might be the board for you. The MechMerlin verdict is strong consider. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. As usual, all the links are down in the description section down below, so make sure you check those out. If you found any other ICs that you think I'd find interesting, send them my way. I'd really appreciate that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye now.